So there's no mystery. It appears a Windows update has thwarted our process.
They're not omitted?
No, they're marked but not omitted.
Okay.
Yeah.
Correct. Do we have the state 6 months?
We did, they're not here unless they got stacked on here. Sweet. All right, which number do you want?
6.
6. Thank you very much.
Yeah. There you go, thank you.
Thank you.
Uh-huh.
Mr. Gross, during your earlier testimony, we talked about 2 memorandums.
Yes, sir, I remember.
And on page 230 of State's Exhibit 6, we previously looked at, that's what we called the December 9 memorandum.
Okay.
This memorandum is, did you understand that this went to all the contested states?
Yes, sir.
And there's a portion that deals with Nevada, which is on page 233. Is that correct?
Yes, it is.
Would you read that Nevada portion?
Nevada is an extremely problematic state because it requires the meeting of the electors to be overseen by the Secretary of State, who is only supposed to permit electoral votes for the winner of the popular vote in Nevada. Nevada Revised Statute 298.065, 298.075, see here. These provisions are designed to thwart the faithless elector. They make no sense when applied to this situation in which we are trying to have an alternate slate vote in hopes that its legitimacy will be validated before January 6th. Therefore, perhaps arguably, the Nevada electors could simply meet and cast their votes without the involvement of the Secretary of State. After all, if, as in the Hawaii example in 1960, an alternate slate can meet and vote without the governor's certificate in hand, and the votes can later be deemed valid, then why should it matter that the alternate slate in Arizona, when voting on December 14th, did not have the Secretary of State overseeing their voting? It bears notice that in any scenario in which Trump and Pence might have a possibility of winning Nevada's electoral votes, the failure to have the Secretary of State oversee the vote would hardly seem like a significant hurdle. If there were a vote in Congress to take Nevada away from Biden and Harris, presumably, along with it would come a vote to overlook this procedural detail.
Thank you. Showing your proposed E, a memorandum from Kenneth Chesbro dated November 18, 2020. Do you recognize that?
I don't know if I've seen this particular one.
Have you, when you went through the emails that you received, and you recall that two memorandums were sent to Mr. DeGraffenreid. Which two memorandums were sent? One was the December 9th, correct?
Yes, one that we just referred to.
Okay, and what was the other one you learned during your investigation?
I don't remember, sir.
So you've never seen that before?
I could have read it, I just don't remember it, sir.
Okay, well, when it was presented as an exhibit to the grand jury, do you know where it came from?
If it was presented at the grand jury, it would have come from the documents attached to the emails in the Google production.
I'd offer E as it's a
Your Honor,
grand jury exhibit.
my same objection applies previously. This email was not contained in the Google production. It was offered through the testimony of Mr. Chesbrough. He's the one that authored the email, so my objection is related to authentication. The December 9th memo is contained in Exhibit 7, so free game, but this one was not part of the Google production.
Response or other foundation or authentication?
He said it came from the emails from the Google.
He said he couldn't be certain. He was certain of 9, he was uncertain of, the one we were just talking about, he was certain of. This one he's uncertain of, and frankly, earlier this morning, his memory, I believe, had to be refreshed, even about the 9th one. Called it the memo from the 9th or whatever.
I thought he said if this was a grand jury exhibit, then it came from the emails in Google production. Did I hear you correctly?
I think so.
Okay.
So even if it came from the Google production,
That was presented to the grand jury with certificates of authentication. It's the grand jury exhibit. They came from the Google production.
I don't believe that it did. That's what I'm saying. Like, I mean, I'm not the witness. I understand what his testimony is, but my objection is authentication because this was not authored by the witness. It's authored by Mr. Chesbrough, and it is not connected to an email, unlike the December 9th memo, which is contained as an attachment in Exhibit 7. This is the sole exhibit, so it's not, my objection remains to authentication.
okay, give me a moment. As I understand it, from the witness, there was 2 emails or 2 attachments to an email. He doesn't recall what the second attachment was. He believes that this particular proposed exhibit E from the defense likely was used at grand jury, perhaps came from the Google production. Simply because it came from the Google production in mass, we don't have the entire thing stipulated, admitted to. There'd be arguably some foundation for it. There's hearsay information within it. There's a bit of a hurdle there. If this were attached to something I could verify and have confidence from this witness who presented it and where it came from. If it was attached to one of these emails that's already admitted, I'd let it in, but I don't have that confidence as to what it is based on his testimony. If you can link it up otherwise, feel free, but right now I'll sustain the objection.
Okay. Look at proposed defense A and see if this is recollection.
Mr. Wright, we need to pause for some technical issue.
Yes, sir.
We need IT, give me a minute.
So there's no mystery, it appears a Windows update has thwarted our process.
We're spinning and spinning and it pops, so.
Thank you. Okay.
Mr. Groves, I'm showing your proposed defense A. Read the bottom portion just to yourself. Tell me if that reflects your recollection as to whether or not the November 18 memo was sent attached to an email. And the answer will be either yes or no.
I don't have an independent recollection of this memo.
The question was a little different, whether or not that refreshes your recollection as to whether that email was attached to a memo, so you don't know. You answered you don't think you've seen that before,
Right,
so basically you don't know.
I don't know.
Okay, go ahead, Mr. Wright.
Yes, sir. Looking again at proposed A, just the document, what would you call that, Bates
Bates
number?
number, sure.
Bates number at the bottom. As the investigator, what does that indicate to you?
It's a number identifying this page that was used in a proceeding, whether it was a court proceeding or maybe a grand jury proceeding.
Okay, I'm not looking at the GJ 195. I'm looking at DeGraffenreid 000778.
Okay,
Is that of any significance as to how you acquired that document and gave it to me in discovery?
no, I would have never labeled anything with that name.
You know, you recognize that name?
Well, I recognize the name, yes, but I didn't label any documents with
Okay,
his name.
so that doesn't mean anything
No.
to you as to how you got this?
No, it does not.
So there's no way you can even learn today how you acquired this?
No,
You've been an investigator 24 years, correct?
I've been an employee of the Attorney General's office for 24 years.
How long an investigator?
20 years next month.
The alternate slate of electors on December 14th, the video we saw, that was in 2020?
Yes.
Okay. And did you watch it?
The video, yes.
No, did you watch the actual ceremony?
I was not present at the ceremony.
That's
no.
what I meant.
Okay.
Okay. Did you hear about it?
Heard about it, yes.
Okay. And then you started your investigation a year later?
The investigation would have began in January or February 22.
Of 2022?
Correct.
Okay. And what did you start the investigation? I mean, are you a case agent or the main investigator, whatever you call it?
I was assigned to the investigation. Investigator Rhoda was taking the lead in the matters that took place in the northern part of the state, and I was down in the southern part of the state.
Okay. And nothing was done from December 14th until February 2020 by you or your office? Am I understanding this?
That is correct.
Okay. Now, the video, I think it was exhibit 6A, is that correct?
The exhibit today is 2. The
A
video is 2.
2. Exhibit 2 that you acquired from Wright side, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and that was, you could watch it on their Facebook page, correct?
That is correct.
Okay, and you watched it?
Yes, I did.
Okay, and it was up there from December 14th till you asked them for a copy of it?
Yes, sir. I believe it's still there today.
Okay, that was on Twitter and YouTube?
I believe it was on YouTube, but it was eventually removed.
Oh, it's removed from YouTube now?
I believe so, yes.
Twitter? Or
I never watched it on Twitter, so I don't know.
Okay. And which one was on Facebook? The long version or the short version?
The shorter version, the one that's 38 minutes and approximately 48 seconds.
Okay, and the one that's admitted into evidence already?
Correct.
Okay. When you commenced the investigation and went to driver's licenses and compared handwriting and pictures and everything, you didn't know who these people were?
I didn't know who they were prior to this investigation. I had known of defendant McDonald, but I did not know of the 5 other defendants prior to this investigation.
Okay, and then when you watched the video and they're using their own names,
Yes, sir.
and then you still didn't know that Michael McDonald's Michael McDonald?
No, I knew who he was, yes, prior to this, but I didn't know who the other 5 were prior to this investigation.
Okay, and so you investigated and figured it out through driver's licenses and things?
That's how we made positive identification, comparing the photos from their driver's license information to the images depicted in the video. And they identified themselves by name in the video, and it matches the names and the driver's license information.
Okay, so that's how you figured out who the 6 Republican elector nominees were?
Yes, sir.
Now, did you watch both short 38-minute video and complete video?
Yes, sir, I've watched them both.
Okay. And did you see Jesse Law state on the video, we want to pull this right back into the courts?
Did I see him make that statement?
Yes.
I don't have an independent recollection of an hour and 20-minute video based on everything that was said by every defendant, so no, I do not remember that individual statement. It could be there, I just don't have an independent
Okay.
recollection of it.
Who's James Rashad?
Mr. Rashad was one of the alternates.
Okay. And by alternates, we mean he was an alternate nominee on the elector slate of nominees.
Correct. Yes.
Who's an alternate for these alternates? That's what you're
Well,
asking?
these were nominees of the Republican Party to be electors. And then there were also 6 alternates
Okay.
for these 6 nominees. And Mr. Marchant was one of the alternates nominees.
Yes, he was.
And those 12 people are all listed on one of the documents, correct?
I don't believe all 12 are listed on one document, no.
Oh, okay. But Mr. Marchand was present at the December 14 ceremony, correct?
Yes, he was.
Okay, and do you remember, he stated, we're going to be prepared just in case, once this works its way through the courts.
I remember him being interviewed and he made a statement similar to that, yes.
Okay, and you understood that to mean that he was being interviewed and he was explaining why they were doing what they were doing, correct?
Correct.
We've got the long one. Defendant's proposed G is the complete right side video. The hour and 20 minutes or so, sir?
25.
Okay. I move its admission.
I haven't seen it, but I'll take it. If I can just reserve an objection after it's played if it's not consistent.
Subject to, yes, a future objection. It's conditionally admitted.
Yes, sir. Can we?
Right here.
Mr. Gross, I'm just going to go to the portion of Jesse Law's statement, because you didn't independently recall it. And it's on the longer version and not on the shorter version.
Alyssa, do you want to say that this is the only thing we can have? Just this one? Shit, last night, so it looks like the whole thing. Okay. So you want me to just go, I can't hear anything like that. Oh, it's how do, I don't
Yeah,
have
hold
to.
on, so that's not working either.
We'll get IT, make sure it plays.
Yes, sir.
I'm gonna go back out one more time and try to go back in.
Do you want me to just get to that statement then?
Okay, let's go back in.
Sorry, that's a loud.
Should be good for code, or not.
This isn't even like the time when I'm scrolling, so I just need
Just the way.
They're not getting code on there and just sink into it.
You know where it is
Hours.
by media timeline or something like
Yeah,
that?
hour and 9 minutes.
yeah, I do know where it
Should
is.
pull
I
up
just-
once they log into quick share.
Maybe she's.
I think you're in, it
Do you want me
started
to
to
do
play.
something? I just put the password in and, okay.
Are you in quick share?
They used it earlier, so ClickShare should be up.
I
They can minimize that and
have
double
no
check.
idea.
So let's shoot.
I don't know what quick share is.
Sorry.
Yeah, go ahead. You watched the whole thing last night? Yeah. Just have some drinks at least.
I went back out, even ClickShare.
Yeah.
So I should be able to play.
Yep.
I just got it now. I'll have to start over, fast forward.
Yep, you're in.
what happens in Nevada, I was born and raised here. And I will die before I ever let this happen again. I would like for you to think about it.
968 of them successfully cast a ballot in this election. That's just one example of the fraud, Chairman.
It's about to, it's gonna be in 95 seconds. Ready? It'll be like, yeah, it's during this. You wanna go ahead?
Yeah, I'm gonna start at one point.
It's 1:08:55 at this point.
Thank you.
This team are alluding to. So now the fight doesn't end here. We want to pull this right back into the courts, and we want to defend our rights, protect our vote from this weaponized disenfranchisement. And so on.
Yeah. Okay, that was Mr. Law speaking, correct?
Yes, sir, it was.
Okay, thank you. And you, just to be clear, on the short version, even though it wasn't played by the state, you do recall Mr. Marchand stating that we're going to be prepared just in case once this works its way through the courts.
That sounds familiar, yes.
So show you proposed F, that way if you recognize that document.
So are you done with the video?
Pardon?
Are we done with the video? Are we done with the video?
Yes, ma'am.
I don't believe I've seen these text messages, no.
You know who Mike Romans is?
I recognize the name. I believe he's an attorney that was part of the Trump campaign.
You've never seen this, so you don't know how the Attorney General's office acquired this, correct?
I don't recognize the document.
Do I have a copy? I'm not sure the entire.
Yeah.
I'm about done. Sure. Okay.
Does the court have a preference in the order of the rest of the?
I'm
completely.
Thank you, Ms. Wright. No,
Oh, pro counsel's asking for a 5-minute quick break. Can you do a question break?
sure.
Okay. Are we back on record?
Yes.
Yes.
I just wanted to clarify that after seeing Exhibit G play, the state has no objection to submission.
Jews admitted fully.
Are you not done?
I just ask one more question on proposed F. the Bates number. Can you tell me what that means? Does that help at all?
The Bates number, as I said previously, would be a number assigned to a document
No,
that's gonna be,
read what it is and tell me if
I
that,
can't read it, it's too small.
okay, so,
I've got the ability to parse that out if it's irrelevant to discard it. Or let me see it or represent what it is. You're free to represent what it is. There's two hints so you can work with them. State 01, I'm sorry, state, all caps, 021307.
does that help you identify how the state acquired this and gave it to us?
I believe it would have been the document used at the grand jury proceedings.
Okay, into the grand jury.
I'm sorry?
Did you, I'm sorry, I didn't hear you, didn't have my earphones on. Repeat your answer.
I believe that document would have been used in the grand jury proceedings.
Thank you. Okay,
Are you done?
yep,
Good afternoon, Mr. Gross. I don't think I've met you before. My name's Monti. I represent Miss Rice, and she's not here right now, but you saw her previously.
Yes, correct.
So I just have a little bit of follow-up from what Mr. Wright had asked you. So you were present at the time that Mr. Chesbro proffered with the state, correct?
Yes, I was present.
Okay. You testified that through your investigation, you learned that the documents signed by the 6 defendants were sent to 4 different locations, correct?
Yes, that's correct.
Through the mail.
Yes, correct.
One was the Nevada Secretary of State, correct?
Correct.
One was the Chief Judge of the Federal District Court for the District of Nevada, Miranda Jew, correct?
Correct.
One was to the archivist in Washington DC, correct?
Correct.
And then the President of the Senate, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so all 4 of those went in the mail, correct?
Yes, correct.
And through your investigation, you followed up with each of those agencies to determine what they did with those documents when they received them, correct?
Yes, correct.
Okay. Starting with the District Court for the District of Nevada, those documents were mailed initially to the Las Vegas courthouse and addressed to Miranda Jew, correct?
Yes, that is correct.
And through your investigation, you learned that it was not opened and forwarded to her chambers in Reno, correct?
Yes, they went to Reno.
And from there, you learned what happened with the documents.
They were maintained there. I'm not sure where, but I know that they were maintained at the courthouse.
There was a interview with the clerk of the district court, Deborah Kempy. I think you used her name earlier, correct?
Yes.
Were you present during that interview?
I believe it was a phone interview.
Okay. Were you?
I believe I was, yes.
Okay. Do you recall what it was that was done with those documents when they were received by that clerk?
Objection, Your Honor. I believe it's eliciting hearsay because she's asking what he heard from that
You
conversation.
know, respond.
Well, I'm asking him during his investigation what he learned was done with those documents. I'm not asking what someone specifically told him.
So if he learned it, he can answer yes. I learned what happened, but he can't say what unless he personally knows, or there's some exception to hearsay.
Okay. So you did learn though from Ms. Kempy what was done with those documents, correct?
I believe they were stored and maintained there, but other than that, I don't remember what they did with them.
Okay. Turning to the Secretary of State, do you recall what happened with those documents?
It's my understanding they were refused and they were sent back.
So they were just returned to sender?
I believe so, yes.
Okay. Do you recall what happened with the documents from the archivist?
Again, they were stored and maintained there.
Okay, and I apologize, the President of the Senate?
A request was made for a copy of those and we never received a reply. So I don't know what happened with those.
Is that, just for clarification, US Senate or Nevada?
US. Did you determine throughout your investigation how electors are selected for each of the parties?
I believe they're simply chosen by the party themselves.
Okay.
That's my understanding.
Do you know if that's done at the party's convention or where and when that's done?
No, I don't know when it's done.
Okay. I want to show you what's been admitted as states 4. Can I approach the witness room?
Yes, no need to ask.
Just so the record's clear?
Oh.
That I approached, okay.
Thank you.
So this is Exhibit 4, correct?
Yes, it is.
And what is that document?
This document, first page, is a certificate of custodian of records executed by Leah Griffin.
Okay, so this is an admitted document. And flipping through, can you tell what these documents are?
This is a memorandum from defendant McDonald to the 4 recipients of these documents.
Okay. So I'm gonna have you turn to does this appear to be the documents that were signed by the defendants in this case?
I believe they are, yes.
Okay, so taking a look at, for instance, it's Bates number 004215. Can you take a look at that?
Okay.
And what is on that document?
It'd be the signature of defendant McDonald, and it would be the ballot in which that he wrote Donald J. Trump as his selection for president.
Okay, and at the top of the document, what does it say?
Are you referring to here or here?
Right up here.
State of Nevada.
Okay. Have you looked at the official documents that were submitted by the Democratic Party?
I've seen them, yes.
Okay. They don't appear to be the same, do they?
No, they are different.
Okay. And in fact, I'm going to have you take a look at the certificate of the vote, which is the same exhibit 4, and it states 004232. What is at the top of this document?
State of Nevada, certificate of vote.
Okay, above state of Nevada, is there a state seal?
Yes, there is.
There's no state seal on any of the documents that were submitted by the defendants in this case, correct?
That is correct.
So none of their actual ballots, none of the document that was stated, the votes of the electors, they didn't have a certificate of ascertainment, correct?
They did not know.
The certificate of ascertainment is something that is required to be submitted, correct?
That is my understanding, yes.
And that has the state seal, and it also has the signature of someone, a couple of individuals who whose signature needs to be on the documents for them to be valid, correct?
That is correct.
And those signatures are that of the governor of the state of Nevada as well as the secretary of state for the state of Nevada, correct?
That is correct.
So the governor of the state of Nevada in 2020 was Steve Sisolak, correct?
Correct.
And his signature appears on the Democratic Party's documents, correct?
Yes,
And the secretary of state at the time was Barbara Sagowski, correct?
that is correct.
And Barbara Sagowski's signature appears on those documents submitted by the Democratic Party, correct?
That is correct.
And neither of those two signatures nor names in any capacity are located on the Republican, the documents that were submitted by the defendants in this case, correct?
No, they were not.
And there is no state seal on any of those documents, correct?
There is not, no.
And when you look at the documents, you can tell very clearly one from the other, correct?
Yes, you can.
Now, sir, you testified that you were the investigator assigned to the southern investigation occurring in southern Nevada with regard to this case, correct?
Yes,
And I believe you testified that there was an investigator, Danny Rhoda,
Danny Rhoda.
and she was assigned as the investigator for the north, correct?
Yes,
There
that's
was another investigator involved, correct?
probably more than one other.
Okay. During the proffer of Mr. Kenneth Chesbrough, there was the lead investigator who was asking a majority of the questions during that proffer. Do you recall who that was?
I believe that was the chief of investigations,
What's that individual's name?
William Scott.
Okay, and is he still with your office?
No, he's not.
What's his name again?
William Scott.
Thank you.
Sir, with regard to the emails, you collected either by search warrant or subpoena or documents that were given to you by Mr. Chesbrough or perhaps other individuals, you collected numerous emails, correct?
That is correct, yes.
Probably hundreds of emails, correct?
Yes,
Sir, in any of those emails, did Ms. Rice respond in any manner to any singular email that was obtained by your office?
I don't remember her responding to any of them, but I did not review all of them.
Okay, but to your knowledge, you don't have any emails that Ms. Rice wrote in response.
That is correct.
And you didn't determine whether or not Ms. Rice even opened any of the emails, correct?
That is correct.
Sir, you testified, I'm probably gonna have to grab another exhibit. Could I see exhibit 13, please? Thank you. Sir, I'm gonna have you look at, and I'm gonna correct the witness from here, exhibit 13. And this is, again, the Nevada Supreme Court order of affirmance, correct?
That is correct, yes.
And then behind that document is the order granting motion to dismiss the statement of contest, correct?
That is correct,
And
yes.
that was filed in the First Judicial District Court of the state of Nevada in and for Carson City, correct?
Yes, it is.
So this order granting the motion to dismiss was filed on December 4th of 2020, correct?
Correct.
The order of affirmance was only 4 days later, correct?
That is correct.
So those 4 days was the only opportunity that the defendants had, or the respondents, I I guess it would have been the appellants of the appealing the order granting the motion to dismiss statement of contest. There's only 4 days in between these two orders, correct?
That is correct, yes.
Okay. And you're not an attorney, correct?
No, I'm not.
Okay. But are you aware that there are other avenues in which to appeal a state court decision?
Yes,
And you heard the court earlier take judicial notice that there was a 90-day period within which that decision could have been appealed to the U.S. Supreme Court.
yes, I heard that.
Okay.
I'm just gonna state for the record, I'm taking that on the proffer of the parties. I don't independently know and haven't actually looked it up.
Okay.
There's some timeframe, is what I'm willing to acknowledge, based upon what I heard from both parties.
Right. And you understand Mr. Chesler is not here today, but you did obtain a number of emails, text messages, and other information from him, correct?
Yes, he provided several documents as part of the proffer.
And those were utilized in some fashion at the grand jury in Park County, correct?
I believe so, yes.
I don't believe I have any other questions. Thank you, sir.
McLetchie? McLetchie?
Yes. Hi there, Mr. Gross. I'm Maggie McLetchie. I represent Jesse Law. First of all, Your Honor, I just wanted one judge wanted me to read the rule on the 90 days into the record.
I think it'd be a good idea.
Okay, so Supreme Court Rule 13, review of certiorari, time for petition, subsection 1. Unless otherwise provided by law, a petition for writ of certiorari for review and judgment in any case, civil or criminal, entered by a state court of last resort or United States Court of Appeals, including the United States Court of Appeals for the Armed Forces, is timely when it is filed with the clerk of this court within 90 days after entry of the judgment. A petition for writ of certiorari seeking review and judgment of a lower state court that is subject to discretionary review by the state court of last resort is timely when it's filed with the clerk within 90 days after entry of the order denying discretionary review.
Good.
Mr. Gross, assuming I read that rule correctly, did that mean that the defendants had 90 days from December 8th, 2020 to seek relief at the United States Supreme Court of the Nevada Supreme Court decision?
Your Honor, I'm gonna object to calls for a legal conclusion. The court's already taken judicial notice of the rule.
I think it's beyond his.
I'll try. Just for clarification, Ms. Levy was speaking with you about the certificate of ascertainment that was submitted by the state of Nevada in connection with the 2020 election. Can you, just for the record, were you looking at pages 4234 and 4235 of exhibit, I think it was exhibit 4?
I honestly.
Do you have that, sorry, where are the
numbers?
It's the big fancy.
I'm sorry?
It's the big fancy one right here.
The certificate of ascertainment, number 4234, second page, 4235.
Okay. And that was a document that says State of Nevada Executive Department, right?
Yes, it does.
And that was submitted by the State of Nevada, right?
Yes, I believe it was.
Do you want to look at it again? To see if it was?
This would have been part of the documents. The exhibit itself would be the documents that were sent to the U.S. District Court.
By?
It would have been sent by the Republican electors.
No, that's incorrect.
I'm sorry.
Look more closely.
I thought you meant the set of documents.
No, this is, if you look here, this is, if you look at this document starting at
Okay.
4230. Do you see
Okay.
what that is?
Yes, this was correspondence from Mark Wlaschin of the Secretary of State.
Okay, and so who sent that, those documents to Miranda do? The certificate of ascertainment?
That would have been the Secretary of State, Deputy Mark Wlaschin.
Okay, and just to be clear, the defendants never submitted anything titled a certificate of ascertainment or looking like the documents you see at 4234 and 4235, correct?
No, they did not.
As has been discussed today, you collected evidence such as emails, the right side broadcasting video, and other evidence about this case, right?
That is correct, yes.
Other than my client, Mr. Law, singing the national anthem and telling the media later on after that ceremony that the intent of what they were doing was to pull this back into the courts. Are you aware of any other statement Mr. Law made about the certificate of electors that the defendants submitted?
No, I do not remember any specific statements.
No further questions.
Thank you. Mr. Kelesis? Take time.
I have no questions to ask, Your Honor.
Need F. Sir, you have F.
You have F, proposed F, the text. The one that says. Yes, but she needs the proposed ones as well.
Oh.
I was gonna say, I see A as well. Thank you.
Mr. Hardy? Mr. Hardy or Mr. Arnold?
I'm going to go ahead and further on behalf of the chair.
Likewise, I'm not going to be on with my other comments so fast.
Thank you. Reader?
Just a few questions, Your Honor. Investigator Gross, as you sit here today, are you aware of any further election contest that was filed by the defendants after December 8th of 2020?
No, I'm not.
So you are not aware if they filed a petition to the U.S. Supreme Court in the 90 days that they talked about today?
I'm not aware of that, no.
And I believe you've testified that you are not the only investigator on the case. Is that fair?
That is correct, yes.
So it's fair to say you haven't reviewed every email that came in,
No, I have not.
every text message?
No, I have not.
Mr. Gross, are you responsible for base labeling the documents that the state produces in discovery?
No, I'm not.
So when you're asked about referencing base labels, that's not something that you do?
No, it's not something I typically do, no.
Nothing further.
Is this witness free to go, or would someone like him held to a subpoena?
I think we may just have a couple of recross based on those questions.
Just one question.
Go ahead.
On all of the emails that you reviewed of the defendants, did you ever see any email by any of the defendants or anyone in the emails suggesting that they were going to trick or deceive the Senate, the Secretary of State, Chief Judge, Archivist, by pretending to replace the Democratic government?
No, sir, I did not see anything that you described.
I just had a couple follow-up to the state.
Okay, let's,
And just for the record, Ms. Rice has entered. Proceed.
yes, and I wanted to let Ms. Rice's attorney know if you need time with her to verify anything, because we did some cross in her absence, I think probably some direct in her absence. If you need that time, let me know.
Okay, I think we're okay for right now. I just had a couple follow-ups based on the state's redirect. Sir, at the time of the December 14th video, to your knowledge, there was still time within which to file a petition to the U.S. Supreme Court, correct?
Your Honor, objection calls for a legal conclusion.
You asked the question again.
I asked if on December 14th, if he has an understanding of whether or not there was still time to file a petition to the U.S. Supreme Court.
Do you know?
Actually, I don't know, but based upon that 90-day rule, I guess I would imply that there was time. But I don't know independently.
Okay. And while you don't know whether or not anything further was filed, you also don't know who would make a decision on whether or not to file something, correct?
No, I would not know who would make that decision.
Okay. That's good.
I just have one follow-up question. You don't know whether at the time on December 14, 2020, when the defendants held their ceremony and signed their elector certificate, you don't know that they were not considering going to the United States Supreme Court, right?
I wouldn't know what they
Objection,
were.
Your
Because
Honor.
I was just saying that as speculative.
So you don't have any information. You don't have any information that they were not considering going to the United States Supreme Court, right?
I would not know what they were considering.
Thank you.
Redirect.
No, Your Honor.
Okay. So, anyone wish Mr. Gross to be held to a subpoena?
Do you want him to stay?
Yes,
Okay. So, sir, the rule of exclusion still applies. You're not allowed to remain in the courtroom. Do not discuss your testimony, any of the exhibits or strategies used, frankly, anything in here that happened with any other witness, or allow them to discuss the same with you or any other witness to discuss the same with you. If you see any such violation, whether it's with you personally or anything, please let the bailiff know, and will let me know, and we'll take care of it, okay?
And just to confirm, I'm not allowed in the courtroom.
No, if you were released, you could be here, and you would not be able to be recalled.
Got it.
So you may or may not be recalled.
Your Honor, the state calls Mark Wlaschin. Do you have those other exhibits that haven't admitted yet?
I am trying
Oh, no, no,
to
you're good. I got it.
decipher, is A and F, were they marked?
Your Honor, while we're bringing in the next witness, for clarification on the defense exhibits that were offered to this last witness, I just want to clarify that the parties that Exhibit B and Exhibit G were admitted. Exhibit A, C, D, E, and F were either not offered or not admitted.
So A was not admitted, C and D related to Mr. Chesbro, those two were marked not admitted. E, the memo from Mr. Chesbro couldn't be tied to my satisfaction to the documents for sufficient foundation, so it was not. G was admitted. F, likely something related to Mr. Romans, just I'm gleaning that it was not admitted.
That's what I had, those were the document he tried to get in.
I'm sorry, Your Honor, he was not admitted?
No,
Correct.
I don't believe so.
So the only one admitted was G?
Yeah,
And
B.
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 rise. Please raise your right hand. You swear or affirm under the sound of perjury in the state of Nevada that any testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
I do.
Please be seated, and when you're comfortable, state your name and spell your last name.
My name is Mark Wlaschin. My last name is spelled Wlaschin.
Thank you. Good afternoon, Mr. Wlaschin. Where are you currently employed?
I'm currently employed at the Office of the Secretary of State.
And how long have you been working for the Nevada Secretary of State?
I started working for the office in October of 2019.
And what is your current position with the Secretary of State's office?
I'm currently the Deputy Secretary of State for Elections.
How long have you held that position?
Since October of 2020.
And where did you work prior to the Nevada Secretary of State's office?
Prior to that, I spent 3-4 months with a small private company here in the area. Before that, 20 years in the United States Marine Corps.
Thank you for your service. What are your duties as the Deputy Secretary of State for Elections?
So as the Deputy Secretary for Elections, I support the Secretary of State's role as Chief Officer of Elections. As Chief Officer of Elections, the Secretary is responsible for the execution and enforcement of all state and federal election laws. And in order to do that, the Secretary of State works very closely with the county and city election officials, and I oversee the division that supports that effort.
And generally speaking, because I know there's a lot of roles, but what does the Secretary of State's office do during presidential elections?
So outside of the norm of, again, executing and enforcing the state and federal laws, there are some specific actions for presidential elections that relate to presidential electors and certain information and events that occur that essentially contribute to the election of the President of the United States.
What documents does the Secretary of State prepare during a presidential election?
Specific to a presidential election and outside of the normal other election type documents like the Supreme Court canvass documents, for example, there's a certificate of ascertainment, a certificate of votes, and then occasionally if there are legal questions or litigation relating to that, there are other specific declarations too.
Who was the Secretary of State during the 2020 presidential election?
In 2020, it was Secretary of State Barbara Sagasti.
And do you recall what election day was in 2020?
Election day in 2020 was November 3rd.
What are the key dates following election day in a presidential election year?
So the key dates, and again, keeping in mind in 2020, there were different statutes governing that election because of the changes in some laws recently. Following November 3rd, election day, county commissioners and the board of supervisors here in Carson City actually had 14 days to canvass the vote. So that would have been November 17th for the canvasses. Following the canvass, the Supreme Court canvass, our state Supreme Court canvass, was the 4th Tuesday in November, which was the 24th. Following that, there was a Safe Harbor Day on December 8th, Tuesday, and then the following Monday was the meeting of the Electoral College on December 14th. And then the last date specific to the presidential cycle, January 6th was when those presidential elector votes would be counted by the Congress.
You mentioned the Safe Harbor date, which is generally, are you aware in your role what the Safe Harbor date is?
So the Safe Harbor date, as I understand it, is that by that date, any litigation relating to the election of the President, Vice President of the United States has to be concluded.
Okay. When you mentioned the meeting of the Electoral College, you said that was December 14th of 2020?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, what happens during the meeting of the Electoral College?
So the Electoral College is an event that occurs across the country, specific to Nevada. And again, it doesn't have to happen at the exact same minute, but it must occur on the same day. Here in Nevada, the way our statutes kind of guide the process in conjunction with the federal requirements is that the Secretary of State, again, in general, oversees the meeting where the 6 primary electors and 6 alternate electors come together. There's an oath. They cast their votes for President and Vice President of the United States, and essentially some closing remarks. It's fairly quick.
Who is, I know you mentioned a couple people, who is required to be present at the Electoral College?
So the immediate electoral college, again, required presence, Secretary of State, again, in our statutes, Secretary of State must oversee that event. Then also the primary and alternate electors, there's a clause that if one of the primary electors doesn't vote, essentially as they're required to by statute, they more or less get fired on the spot and an alternate is put to their place.
Okay. How are electors selected?
So it's interesting and a little bit confusing, I think, to most people, but when you cast your ballot for President and Vice President of the United States on ballots, as a voter in Nevada, you're essentially voting for the electors. What does that mean? So we had 4 individuals on the ballot in 2020, for example, Democratic Party, Republican Party, Independent American Party, and the Libertarian Party, all had candidates. All 4 of those groups had to identify presidential electors, primary and alternates, 6 of each. And so when you vote for a member of your party or a party for president, you're essentially voting for those 6 primary presidential electors who then cast their votes during the Electoral College.
And when the party selects the electors, are they nominees?
They are until after, of course, the conclusion of the election.
And after the conclusion of the election, how does one become the elector for the state?
So it really hinges on the popular vote. So whoever receives the most popular vote that's the party or group that ultimately has their electors become the electors for the Electoral College.
What is a certificate of ascertainment?
Certificate of ascertainment is one of the key documents that we actually create and provide to the federal government that identifies which electors receive the popular vote.
And to your knowledge, was one prepared in 2020?
Yes.
And how do you know one was prepared?
I helped draft it and create it.
I'm going to show you what's already been admitted as State's Exhibit 14. Do you recognize this document?
Yes.
And is this the certificate of ascertainment that was prepared in the 2020 election?
Yes.
Okay. And there are signatures affixed to it?
Yes, there are.
And whose signatures are signed on there?
Governor Steve Sisolak and Secretary of State Barbara Sagatsky.
And there are state seals that accompany that?
That's correct.
Okay. Who is listed as the Democratic electors?
The Democratic Party electors are Artissimo Blanco, Yvonne Cancella, Gabrielle Dare, Sarah Mahler, Joseph Thornberry, and Judith Wood.
Okay. And who, according to this document, received the highest number of votes?
The highest number of votes went to the Democratic Party electors.
And do you recall what the margin of error was between the Democratic electors and the next party?
Approximately 33,000.
Okay.
And it's more of a spread than a margin of error. Just to
I'm
be
sorry, the
precise.
spread. Thank you. And who was the Republican elector nominees that were listed?
The Republican Party electors, Mr. James DeGraffenreid, Mr. George James Hindle III, Mr. Jesse Law, Mr. McDonald, Mr. Shawn Meehan, and Ms. Eileen Rice.
And when is the certificate of ascertainment, well, once it's completed, where is it sent?
So the completed certificate of ascertainment after the governor and secretary of state have signed it actually goes 4 places. The secretary of state as chief officer of elections retains a copy. There's 3 other copies that are sent out. One goes to the president of the U.S. Senate. One goes to the chief archivist of the United States, also in D.C. And the 3rd goes to the chief judge of the district in which the electoral college met.
And you testified the Democratic Party electors won the election, so would they then be the Nevada electors for the 2020 presidential election?
Yes.
During the 2020 presidential election, did you become aware that a lawsuit had been filed contesting the litigation, or contesting the outcome of the election?
Yes.
And did you learn that through your current role as the Deputy Secretary of Elections?
Yes.
And is election contest, is there significance for you in your role?
So for election contests, yes, absolutely, especially specific to the presidential election.
And to your knowledge, what was the basis of that litigation?
There were allegations of fraud relating to the 2020 election cycle.
I'm going to show you what's already been admitted as State's Exhibit 13. Do you recognize this document?
Yes, I do.
And how is it that you're familiar with it?
So all litigation, especially elections-related litigation, comes to the office, and not only does the Secretary of State, of course, get notified immediately, but I do as well, so that we can pay attention to be a party to those lawsuits.
And are you aware of the outcome of this particular litigation?
Yes.
And what was the result of the outcome of this litigation?
Ultimately, it was resolved without changing the outcome of the election.
And what does that mean then for your role?
So two things. One, it meant that hadn't botched the job too bad, so there wasn't widespread fraud. But two, also that enabled us to move forward with the Electoral College.
And by moving forward with the Electoral College, that would be moving forward with the Democratic Party electors.
Correct.
Now, you testified December 14th was the meeting of the Electoral College.
Yes,
In 2020, did that happen?
it did.
Okay. Can you just briefly describe what occurred on that day?
Yeah, absolutely. So, after the November 3rd election, again, really the next big thing was the Electoral College meeting that we were looking at from the presidential cycle, following, of course, the Kansas County Commissions and also the Nevada Supreme Court canvass. So we began planning, and Secretary Sagatsky, as you remember, back in 2020, I know a lot of folks try to forget that year, but there was a pandemic going on. She had concerns about meeting in person, so that although previous meetings of the Electoral College in Nevada had been done in person, she directed us to, after discussing it with legal counsel, to arrange that as a meeting on Zoom in order to ensure people's safety to the best of her ability. When we met on December 14th, it was a Zoom meeting then. Secretary Sagatsky provided some opening comments, and then essentially, again, we had the electors take oaths. They voted for president, they voted for vice president. They had to hold up the cards to show me that they voted for the right people. Again, we have statutes in NRS 298 that require them to vote for the individuals who won the popular vote. And then essentially we adjourned fairly quick.
You said that they take an oath. Who administers the oath?
As I recall, either Secretary Sagatsky or I.
Someone from the Secretary of
Yes,
State's office administers the oath?
Absolutely.
What's the purpose of the oath?
The purpose is it's the Faithful Elector Act, as I recall, that they're taking an oath to vote only for the individuals who have received the popular vote.
And what documents are executed at the meeting of the Electoral College?
So we have the previously signed certificates of ascertainment. During the meeting of the Electoral College, the electors signed the certificate of votes that essentially again identifies who they are voting for. Again, by statute, it requires that it be the individuals who won the popular vote, but they sign the certificates of vote that we then marry up with the certificates of ascertainment.
And who prepares the certificate of vote?
Members from the Elections Division, my staff.
Who has access to those documents?
The same, again, members of the Elections Division in the Secretary of State's office. We allow our legal team to review them, of course, the Secretary, Chief Deputy, that's about it.
So nobody outside of the Secretary of State's office or the legal division has access to those documents?
No.
I'm showing you what's been admitted as State's Exhibit 16. Do you recognize this document?
Yes.
And what is it?
This is a copy of the certificate of vote that was signed by the electors.
And this is the document that you assisted in preparing?
That's correct.
And how do you know that this is the official document for the state of Nevada?
Again, one, because I helped draft it and I remember the template, finding the template. We have the state seal on it. There was some very specific text that had been used prior that the Secretary had asked me to make sure we referenced and used. That ultimately has the names of the 6 primary electors who were selected in the election.
And the Democratic electors?
Yes, ma'am.
Does anyone else other than a member of your staff create these documents?
No.
Very good. If you would, can you read the first paragraph on this document?
Certainly.
Says that 16 still?
Yes, thank you.
We, the undersigned, electors for President and Vice President of the United States of America for the respective terms beginning at noon on the 20th day of January, 2021, being electors duly and legally appointed and qualified by and for the state of Nevada, as appears by the annexed certificate of ascertainment, having met and convened agreeably to the provision of law in said state of Nevada at 8:30 a.m. on the first Monday after the second Wednesday in December of the year 2021, being the 14th day of said month.
And then the next paragraph, please.
Certainly. Do hereby certify that being so assembled and duly organized, we proceed to vote by ballot and balloted first for president and then vice president, so cast as aforesaid.
And then the last paragraph, please.
Joseph R. Biden receiving 6 votes, Kamala D. Harris receiving 6 votes, in testimony whereof we have hereunto set our hands on the third Monday of December 2020, being the 14th day of said month and the first Monday after the second Wednesday therein.
Now I'm going to show you what's been marked and admitted as State's Exhibit 15. Do you recognize this document?
Yes, I do.
And what is it?
So I mentioned earlier that if there's litigation relating to the presidential election, there's a document, a certificate of final determination of contests concerning presidential electors, exactly what this is. This document certifies that those legal challenges were resolved prior to the deadline for safe harbor on December 8th.
And does this document accompany the certificate of ascertainment and the certificate of vote?
Yes, if there was litigation, then that document is required.
And why would this need to be sent with those 2 other documents?
It certifies that if there was litigation, that it has been resolved and that there is no longer a question of who the qualified electors are for the Electoral College.
So in 2020 for Nevada, what this means is that the electors for the state would be the Democratic Party electors.
Correct.
Now, I believe you mentioned, and I'm just clarifying, once the documents are complete, where are they sent to?
Again, there's 4 locations. Secretary of State retains 1 copy. The next one, President of the U.S. Senate, the Chief Archivist of the United States, and then the last one is to the Chief Judge of the district in which the Electoral College can be.
Who mails the official documents to those 4 places that you mentioned?
One of the members of my staff in the Elections Division.
And at some point, did you become aware that Republican elector nominees sent their own certificate of votes to the 4 places you mentioned?
I did, yes.
Can you elaborate on how you came to learn that information?
Certainly. So we found out about it because the Secretary of State received a copy. That was one of the locations. A packet came in the mail that had some documents that looked close to what we had created. As soon as we saw it, got in touch with Secretary Sagaski at the time, along with our Chief Deputy, made sure that she was aware that we received this packet. Talked about it a little bit. She did direct me to reach out to the archives to make sure that they were aware that the documents were going to be sent. I didn't have the Vice President's number, so I couldn't have gotten in touch with her, but she said that the archivists would be sufficient to make sure that the federal government was aware. Following that, we had some talks with the legal team, and pretty quickly, the Secretary made a decision to return the documents.
And were the documents then returned?
Yes.
Did you, before they were returned, did you personally review the documents that were received?
Yes.
When they were sent back, did anything accompany those documents?
Yes, Secretary Sagaski directed that we draft, and we did, we drafted a letter, essentially a cover sheet to put into the packet to return.
And who drafted that letter?
I did with some very generous support from the Office of the Attorney General, our Deputy Attorney General.
See what's been admitted as State Exhibit 17. Do you recognize this letter?
I do.
And what is it?
This is the draft, because I hadn't signed this copy. This is the draft of the letter that I returned in the packet with the other documents.
And the one that you sent, did you sign it?
Yes,
Okay. If you would, what is the date of this letter?
December 15th of 2020.
Can you please read that into the record?
Sure. Dear Mr. McDonald, enclosed, please find documents received on December 15th, 2020, purporting to be votes of the Nevada electors in the December 14th vote of the Electoral College. Please be advised that on December 14th, 2020, the lawful Nevada electors who were identified on the official certificate of ascertainment cast their ballots for President of the United States and Vice President of the United States pursuant to federal and state law in a meeting conducted by the Nevada Secretary of State. Nevada law requires that all electors cast their ballots for the winner of the popular vote in Nevada. As such, the lawful electors cast their ballots for Joseph R. Biden for President of the United States and for Kamala D. Harris for Vice President of the United States, in accordance with Nevada law and the results of the 2020 general election as certified by the Nevada Supreme Court on November 24th, 2020. We are returning these documents as they do not meet the statutory requirement for filing with our office. Respectfully.
And then the one that accompanied the return documents had your signature affixed to it?
Correct.
I'm going to show you some exhibit. How about three? I'm going to show you what's been admitted as State's Exhibit 3, and specifically, I'm going to start on State 3208. If you could you just flip through that those pages? Do you recognize the documents that are contained in Exhibit 3?
I do.
Okay. And how is it that you recognize those documents?
These are copies of the documents that we received in our package.
So they look identical to the ones that you received?
Correct.
Court's indulgence. The documents that you just reviewed, are these official documents of the Secretary of State's office?
No, they are not.
Your Honor, I'll pass the witness.
It's 3:30, we had a couple of brief breaks. Does anyone need a restroom break?
Yes, sir.
Great, I'm with you, Mr. Wright. Why don't we come back about 1:45?
Yes, sir.
So it appears with Zoom and technology, things began well, and as technology teaches us, didn't end well, so to speak. I've been informed that anyone watching by Zoom has the ability to hear but not see anything other than me at this point. The two solutions presented to me by staff were to quit for the day, believe it can be fixed overnight, or just continue without seeing the witness. I offered a third. We have this witness. I've been informed that they're likely, the state, to be done with him today. I don't know in the next 50 minutes if cross will be accomplished and he'll be done today. My thought is to, frankly, twist this one, whoever's watching, and specifically my concern is Mr. Law. I don't have, frankly, much concern with anyone else who's not come here in person. If Mr. Law has the view that I have, I'm inclined to go forward. So, Mr. Law's attorney, thoughts on that?
I mean, obviously, I prefer if you could see the full video of the witness, but if you can't, you can't.
Okay, so if you can see what I see, which is more or less a full video of the witness's profile, and when he turns, it's more than that.
If you can see what you can see, that's fine, thank you.
I need to go down a little, Dustin.
And you're
See
on,
my face right now, Malaya?
Yeah, it's easy one.
You're tracking me.
What if, and for a better view, what if the witness was in this other chair?
Lose the mic, oh, good idea.
Oh, no mic. The mic can't be moved, just drag over to this spot.
I could put the mic over here.
Does it have enough cord?
I can jump under here, please, sir.
and Your Honor, to clarify, the state has no more witnesses and would be resting. So I don't know what the defense has on the table, but is prepared to make arguments depending on what time and the rest of the proceeding.
Okay.
Your Honor, excuse me, should my client be able to hear audio right now?
Mr. Law, can you hear us?
He texted me that he cannot.
All right.
He's on mute.
Well, him being muted.
There we go.
Can you hear us, Mr. Law?
Just his.
I'm gonna have my IT check on that when we get through this.
Can you see the witness now, Malaya?
Switch cameras. Hold on, I lost it. This one? Okay.
We have no audio on Zoom.
Apparently, we're not able to hear Mr. Law, and I'm not sure he can hear us.
Okay, they should be able to hear us now.
Mr. Law, can you hear us? And if you need to unmute yourself to respond. Mr. Law?
He's texting me, I'm asking my text.
Happy birthday.
We're talking right now.
It was just misleading Mr. Arnold's birthday. So.
Wait, what?
He said happy birthday.
Oh,
Okay, Peter.
thank you.
I don't think he can hear.
She can't hear.
Money?
Oh, yep, we have another birthday.
Three birthdays.
3 birthdays.
Okay, he just gave a thumbs up, we're good.
He can,
Can you hear now?
he can hear now.
Okay.
You can hear us?
Then he will,
Okay. So, let's resume.
My name is Richard. I represent McDonald.